There are over 120 species of the parasite genus Plasmodium, but only 4 of these infect humans to cause malaria. Plasmodium falciparum is the only parasite which can cause severe, life-threatening malaria. This parasite is mainly found in sub-Saharan Africa. Approximately 500 million clinical attacks of malaria occur every year. An estimate of 800,000 to 1 million deaths occur per year, mainly in children in sub-Saharan Africa. EDCTP contributes to the fight against malaria by funding research and development of new drugs and drug combinations, clinical development of novel vaccine candidates, and enhanced clinical trials capacity in Africa.
First of all, the clinical trial is looking at anti-malarial efficacy of safety of anti-malarial treatment in pregnant women. The anti-malaria we use are artemisinin-based combination treatment. There are not many data on safety efficacy of these treatments in Africa.
PREGACT is a Phase 3, non-inferiority, multi-center randomized open-label clinical trial. The safety and efficacy of 4 ACTs when administered to pregnant women with Plasmodium falciparum infection during the 2nd and 3rd trimester will be determined.
Despite the fact that malaria control programs advise to treat with artemisinin-based combination treatment, so this is a recommendation with very little scientific basis. So far we have recruited about 1,500 women. Our target sample size is 3,480.
This trial is a very large trial with over 900 patients. All the patients are children. One treatment is a fixed dose combination of artesunate and mefloquine, but now we have combined them in one pill so that we give less tablets per day.
This study exemplifies global partnership. The product was developed in Brazil. It is currently under conduct in Kenya, Burkina Faso and Tanzania. The laboratories are sending their slides for review to Uganda. The electronic CRF is based in France, and additional measurements of the drug levels in the blood are being done in Switzerland. Overall, a strong North-South and South-South collaboration.
This is in fact a late-stage trial. We've demonstrated the efficacy in other countries, but we have absolutely no data for children in Africa.
The new recommended treatment for malaria are what are called ACTs. In this population also people are being treated with HIV drugs.
So these are HIV positive patients but do not have malaria, so malaria negative. They're already on the antiretrovirus, but we're giving them the antimalarials.
Nobody knows how these two drugs interact. So whatever study findings we're going to have, they'll have a major impact on policy and programs because we'll be able to inform the Ministry of Health and the international community.
This clinical study aims to compare the incidence rate of uncomplicated malaria episode in children and adults treated with repeated ACT therapy over a period of 2 years.
The partnership involved 4 African countries and 4 European. The African component, we bring expertise in running ICH-compliant clinical trials on the ground, and we also factor the different skills that are provided by the northern partners.
This study will be sponsored by the University of Bamako, the first time the university has sponsored a clinical trial that aims to register 2 new ACT drugs.
Bringing the infrastructure up to scale to be able to be ready for this type of large-scale trial that will be involving more than 4,000 patients. One of the major gaps in biomedical research and in science in general in Africa is the very little representation of women. And now we have 6 PhD and master students, and half are female, half are men, and hopefully we will continue with this trend.
Preclinical studies, as well as recently completed and ongoing Phase 1 clinical trials, have found recombinant adenoviruses to be the most effective means of inducing strong CD8 T-cell responses that are known to be protective against liver stage malaria.
Clinical trials that have been done so far in this project, we have vaccinated 16 adults, 24 children, and also 30 adults in Kemri. And it has been proved right what we thought from the beginning, that these vectors will allow us to improve the immune responses we got with previous vaccines that we were developing.
The malaria parasite is challenging to work with, and as such the study consortium has the aim of developing a vaccine for each life cycle of the parasite. The current phase of the study is aimed at the liver stage of the parasite. The aim is to come up with a combination vaccine that takes into account all stages of the parasite development. EDCTP has developed a programmatic approach that focuses on clinical trials as the core activity and supports networking and capacity development in parallel. EDCTP believes that capacity development gives African researchers the opportunity to learn by doing, to utilize the developed capacity and to ensure a successful outcome and capacity retention.
There are organizations like the EDCTP that are encouraging people to come up with protocols, and then for us it's about training the young people coming through the College of Medicine about protocol development and then application for funding and carrying out the studies.
I'm part of the first generation of senior fellows. This helped us to build a team looking at the mechanism of drug resistance, but also conducting clinical trials.
Our project was one of those selected after the concept of bringing in integrated projects that brings in capacity building, networking, and project management in the conduct of clinical trials. And that allows us to work with sites from Europe and Africa. We want to build capacity both in infrastructure, technical, and personnel that allows the clinical trial sites to apply for grants and to sustain themselves well beyond the end of the project.